There's a beautiful day headed your way. Keep your head up, up, up. You'll be okay. A beautiful day waiting for you. Just open your eyes. You'll see it's true. Good times, sunshine. Gonna be here in no time now. Bad times, gray skies. Push them all away, turn them upside down. You're gonna break new ground. Turn everything around. You're gonna live your life. There's a beautiful day headed your way. Keep your head up, up, up. You'll be okay. Beautiful day waiting for you. Just open your eyes. You'll see it's true. A beautiful day.
Welcome back to the Booga Box live stream. It's Thursday now. Yeah, Thursday. So it's Large Project Thursday. I do want to thank everybody for joining us. If you're watching this live or watching this later, I do appreciate it. And I want to thank everybody that keeps getting our tutorials and bringing back to life kind of the Chanians a little bit too. So don't forget to give a thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I forgot to turn the thing down. I'm going to have to go do that real quick. Alright, I was getting feedback over there. Alright, I believe everything's going good now. So yeah, today I ended up getting some more rings done for the wormholes, got some more kits done of those. I've been getting slow orders on the Chanians. You know, I normally get a couple, at least one tutorial a month for the Chanians, if not a couple. On occasion I'll get a kit, and here lately I've been getting more, so I went ahead and done up several more. I had a couple more that I need to send out tomorrow, so figured I might as well go ahead and make up some more kits of those. So I've been pretty busy today, getting all this stuff going. Got no time into the inlay tonight, though, during all this, because I was just so busy. So actually just finally got the inlay back out probably 20-30 minutes ago at the most. I was still packing up some orders and getting them ready. So let's go ahead and get off the ugly old face cam here and get over to our inlay. Kind of give it a quick stretch here so we can kind of see it. Like I said, I got none done since we ended last Thursday. I was hoping to get some done, but yeah, I mean, you're keeping me busy, so that's a good thing, right? Now, if this was an order, that'd be a different story, like I always say, but this is kind of just to have a project to do a stream with and have some fun with. Otherwise, it'd go a lot quicker. Yeah, let's get that turned up. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, today, like I said, I got up, and every day it's been waking up to orders, which is good, but it keeps me busy right off the bat, so I try to get that stuff done, get things packed up and shipped if I can, if it's early enough. I was hoping to get some out today. Didn't get them out in time. I had several ready. Forgot. Well, I didn't forget. I was trying to wait and get some other things done so I could put with it. And then by the time I realized it was too late, I was like, oh crap. So I'll have a few more extra to go out tomorrow. So again, like I said, I do thank everybody for doing that and checking out the Chanians too. And don't forget about the 4-inch dream catcher that I have. It's definitely a different type of build than what you've had in the past. If you've done any type of dream catcher, that is. But being busy is good, but I've had less time to sit down and play with rings, which is, again, where you have fun, but you can spend hours upon hours getting nothing done. I mean, I spent a lot of time on the wormhole cube before it finally became the wormhole cube. Many rebuilds and take aparts and trial error. But it was kind of fun, you know. That's what I dig that kind of thing whenever I get to try something different. or if I'm trying to figure out, I seen a picture of something, and I don't know its name or anything like that. It's just a picture I saved. I have a bunch of pictures of chainmail that I saved through the years now, and I'll just start pulling them up, going, okay, let's figure out how to build it. Sometimes they'll work out and I can figure out how to do it. Sometimes it doesn't and it turns into something else. So, like I said, I have many one-off pieces. I normally don't even really ever post pictures or put it on the website or anything for those one-off pieces like that, because I don't necessarily plan on doing other ones whenever I do them, because sometimes they're flukish. I will say that, because there was one thing I did probably 3 or 4 years ago now. Oh, maybe even 5 years ago now. Time is flying by right now. Yeah, I was thinking the other day, it's hard to believe that we've been in the pandemic started more than 2 years ago, and I'm just like, wow, okay, so yeah. So it could have been about 5 years ago or so. I was working on something, it wasn't working out how I wanted it. It wasn't looking like a picture, so I ended up playing around with it and doing something different to it. And it ended up coming out really cool, and I was like, okay, this is neat. And I knew all the rings that I used, and I tried to do it again, and I could not get it to work. The first time I tried doing it with different colored rings, and, sometimes that will change the AR just slightly enough where things won't be quite right. And so then I tried to do it out of the same rings, and I don't know what I did. There was something somewhere that I must have been forgetting or something, but I could never get it quite done again, and I was like, well, it was neat. I wasn't, like, super ecstatic about it or anything, but, I put it out and it sold. But that's kind of what happens when you start getting into doing different designing things and whatnot. So I will say, this weekend I've got some laser work to do, though, too. I've been putting off several things I need to get done on the laser. I finally shut down the 3D printer. It's been actually printing for at least 8 days straight. Each print that I had going was taking about 28 hours. As soon as they get done, I just started up again with the next batch that I had going. Those were all the grid wall things I was making. And now I need to get the laser going. I've got several designs that are ready, and then I got a couple other designs I need to get done for cutting out to make some more event stuff. I want to make some signs. I've got some necklace holders that I want to build. I'm hoping that's one thing I haven't finished yet, is figuring out, I want to try to build a thing where I can have my necklaces on display, and like the bracelet cabinet, I can just close it up and you're pretty much done. I want to have something that I can pull these off their peg hooks and slide them down into a box that'll keep them nice and padded. I can slide down a piece of bubble wrap or something to, put some padding in between them, but they'll be in their own little slidey thing that will keep them tight anyway. I've got it in my mind how it will work, and I've said this 100,000 times. Sometimes it doesn't come out of the brain quite the same way as how the brain thought it. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, so I'm hoping it's going to work. We'll see. But I'm hoping I can get a good chunk of that done this weekend. I need to, but I also have some lawn work I need to get done. That's kind of what I plan on doing tomorrow morning, is getting out here across this one fence line and trimming up these trees, because the trees are growing up over in their yard right at the fence line, and but their branches now are stretching over, they're only about 4 or 5 feet off the ground, but they're stretching 5-6 feet over into the yard, into the parking areas, and trying to drive down. I do have a little patch myself, though, in our little flower bed thing that has never really been a flower bed. It's just always just grown crap. I try to clean it and put stuff in it, make it look nice, and then everything just grows no matter what I put in it. Needs to totally be taken down. I want to make a concrete wall there anyway. That's why I really haven't messed with that, but got to clean that up too. Problem is on the other side of the front, we got some poison ivy over there, and I'm like, I don't want to mess with the poison ivy. Me and Poison Ivy don't get along. I already had a little spat of it earlier this year. Luckily, it wasn't too much, and it was just on my arm over here. I still got a little bit of scarring from it, but again, it wasn't too bad. But yeah, I don't get it nearly as bad as I used to as a kid, but it sucks. Poison ivy sucks. I've tried to spray it down, and it does no good. This stuff just comes back with a vengeance. Same with that stupid thorn killer bush thing we had, man. It has like 1/2-inch stalks and thorns every 2 millimeters or so, I swear. I mean, it's just covered. It's not like a normal one where they're just dicky. It's like everywhere. Posted a couple of years ago this thing, and I got in. I was hoping I'd get it taken care of, but yeah, the poison ivy and that's an evil thorn bush. Then we have a couple other little thorn bushes that I dig up, and I swear there's nothing left. And throughout the summer, you don't notice it at first till it really starts getting going. And then it's like, oh, there it is again. So many of those things in this yard. We've been here for years, and it's taken me years to get some of it finally gone. We had the backside over here. We had these, I'm not sure what kind of bushes they were, but we had like 4 of them across the fence line. They were just pain in the butt. They grow like weeds. And I cut them back and everything, and it took me a good 10 years to finally get 3 of them down. I got 3 of them totally gone. They haven't grown back here in the last 5-6 years. So this other one just keeps coming back no matter what I do to it. I was out there, I drilled it full of holes. I mean, cut it back as far as I could, and then I was just drilling and cutting anything I could, and it still just says, nope, I'm coming back. And then we had the new neighbors that I wanted to go over there on their side so I could cut it back too, because if you only take care of half of it, it's not going to do anything. And they were like, no, we'll take care of it, and they never did. And then I kind of laid off it, and then it kind of really got crazy. But I finally got out there and took care of it. To a point, it's not near where it needs to be gone, but a point that the insanity's gone. I think that was the biggest problem with it, was the insanity of it. How big and bushy it got. And, it did have some type of berry, because the birds loved the thing. Kind of feel sorry for the Cardinals, and the Blue Jays loved it. They'd get in that thing all the time. And now it's only kind of halfway there, but I did notice it was last week I was talking with the wife and was telling her it was like, I swear it was like 2 Blue Jay families were having a kids party to get together, you know, a play party or something, because there was 4 sets of adult Blue Jays and then these 2 little Blue Jays that were playing on the bush. And the other 4 were, 2 were sitting up in a tree watching, and the other 2 were sitting up on top of the garage next door watching. And 2 of them flew off across the backyard and up into our back tree, and they squawked, and their little baby took off, flew up there with them, and the other little baby kind of looked around, and their mom up in that tree top, and it flew up into that tree. It's kind of funny. Alright, last little bit of this row. Now, I better want to make sure here. We're coming across. Should go through. Got, where am I at here? Okay, there's not a pink one in between the. Oh, I'm on the wrong row. I guess that would help if I'm on the correct row. There, that makes sense now. Okay, yeah. I was looking at my first mark, not my last mark. Alright. Ring counting time. The dreaded ring counting time. Where you screw up and have to go fix. That is one thing that I had to do after we got done last week. I was checking my end ring, and I noticed I was off by 1. And I had to go back 34, 35 rings and to make my fix. So Basically, it's like doing another 60 rings by the time you take it out and put it back in. That's why I didn't end up getting any more done after I got the fix. I was like, oh, I'll work on it again later, and then again, the weekend came, and I just got busy with everything else. And always got to be doing something. I'm so ready to, I would like to have a break. Been thinking about asking my wife, like, hey, can I just go take the camper out and go for a weekend? Take a relaxing break. I'd like her to go, but it's just too difficult anymore. But I've actually thought about just pulling it out in here and doing some backyard camping in it, and just, but it's not as fun because, I mean, yeah, it's nice to have the amenities at home and whatnot, but it's not, you know, you're not really out there doing it because you could always come in. And if I do, I find myself inside for most of the time, inside doing stuff in here, and then finally going out there, and it's mostly just kind of watch a little bit of TV or whatnot, and then go to sleep, and then wake up, and then back in here again. If I'm actually out camping, I would have nothing to come into, so I'd find more opportunities. I'd take stuff with me to do chainmail, and I'd probably still do some in there, but just not as fun at home. Because I found the state parks. That was 2, right? Yeah. I've been looking up here close by to go camping and stuff, and their prices were insane. I mean, you could almost find a hotel room for a price of a night at some of the campgrounds up here. And I guess that's just around Smithville Lake. I didn't look really much further. I didn't want to do a lot of driving to get to one. I looked at some of the state parks, and it was like under $20. It was like $18 per night. With electricity, like 12 without it. And I was like, I can do either or. I mean, if I need electricity, I got a little battery converter. I can do power if I need it. But I was like, now that's something I'd much rather do, because down here it was, what was it, $60 a night at the one. All of them had power. Most of them had drainage and stuff for, you know, it's like, I don't need all that, and that's probably why it's so expensive. But then the other ones I was finding up here by the lake, Camp Branch and the other one, they were $45 to $50 a night, which was a little bit better, but still, I was like, I'm camping, man. Why is it so darn expensive? I guess it's just, I'm going back to my days as being a kid. We used to go camping all the time as a kid. And even when I got older and finally moved out on my own, I went a few times. And even then, I think the most I remember spending was like $8-9 a night up here. And that was actually in Smithville at the time too. So I mean, it was a while ago, but still. But yeah, the prices were insane. And now I found those, and they're not too far. It's about a 45 minute drive to one of the state parks, and about another, maybe an hour to another state park. And I was like, you know, that's not too bad. And, you know, if I want to do it, it's about time to do it. I'd rather do it this time of the year, though, actually. I don't like the heat. I can deal with cold. I can warm up, so I can put things on to keep warm. And, I mean, I have a little space heater, so it keeps the little trailer, or little camper thingy. It's a teardrop camper. It keeps it toasty if you need to, but it retains a lot of heat anyway. I know there was a couple times we went out, and it was getting down to like 50 at night, and we had the windows open on the thing. We still had to have a fan on the inside, because it just was already pretty warm in there, you know. So it's like, yeah, give me those 40-50 nights. That's when I want to go camping. That's what I like. I remember as a kid we went up to South Dakota, and it was in June, early mid-June. Went, you know, we got to the campground, set up all our tents, you know. They had a pop-up camper that the parents would stay in, and normally me and my brother set up our own tent and camp out in it. And went to bed, you know, it wasn't cold or anything, with a little fire, and woke up the next morning with like 2 inches of snow on the ground. Didn't even know, you know. We got up and I unzipped the flap of the tent and looked out, and I was like, it snowed. He was like, what? I was like, yeah, it snowed. We got home. It was like, yeah, sure enough. But it was like the perfect snow. It was a little chilly, but the sun was just coming up and starting to warm up everything. And I think it was maybe an hour and a half. The 2 inches was gone. Ground was wet. Another 2 hours, everything was dry, like nothing had happened. It was weird. You didn't have that happen down here in Missouri. It's either just cold and wet or rainy, snowy. I mean, just it was kind of cool. I was kind of hoping it'd happen the next time. I did miss the ugly one, though, I guess. This would have been in high school. I'm probably thinking more of my freshman, sophomore year, because once I got to junior, senior year, my stepdad was having eye problems. He had to quit his job. We had to move and stuff, and it was before we moved there, because after we moved, we stopped going camping. So it was sophomore, freshman year, and I had band things going on because I was always in band, and they were doing a camping thing, but I had band events going on, so I couldn't go on this camping event or camping trip with them. And so my brother and everybody else went, and they come back and told the horror story. One, it's something that I never, as a kid, you were taught it in Boy Scouts and stuff. On make sure whenever you put up your tent, you never have the front of the tent facing uphill. Should always go downhill. And blah blah blah. There's always things we learned in that, and so that was something I always thought about when we set up our tents, and that was normally, I guess, something that I did. My brother didn't necessarily do. He just kind of, I'd be like, okay, let's set up here. He'd find the area. I'd be like, okay, let's twist it this way, and so he set up the tent by himself. And I guess there were some crazy rainstorms that night. One of the nights they were staying. I don't know if it was the first night or the second night. But he had the tent facing the wrong way. Big storms coming through, and I guess it flooded the tent. He woke up, and there was like 4 or 5 inches of rain inside the tent, and everything was soaked. And I kind of laugh about it because I wasn't there to see it. I'm sure it sucked, but that would have been, maybe a time where you wouldn't want to go camping. But alright, back to counting again. That should have been past our halfway point now. That was row 48, so that would make 96. So yeah, we're now going past our halfway point. Took us forever to get to that. Yeah, there's 2 about screwed up already right off the batter. One and one. Always seems like that's where I screw up. When it's just back and forth between them, and then it's like 1, 1, 1, 1, and then every once in a while they'll throw in a 2. Here's a 2. Yeah, I guess last night, I don't know if he might have been here. His daughter got on and was screaming. My wife, I guess, at one point was watching too. And then the daughter ended up, she hadn't done any chainmail in probably 4 years. She kind of got into it when I was kind of becoming the business of it and really kind of getting into the prettiness of chainmail. Before that, like I said, it was always just crap stuff that I just, whatever I found and whatnot. And she did it for a while until she got busy with stuff, but yeah, she had a piece of foreign one when I went upstairs last night after the stream going, hey, see, I remember. It's the only thing I can remember, but I remembered. I was like, that's all it takes. You get back into it, you'll remember. I mean, granted, at the time, I think she'd only probably was up to 3 or 4 weaves. Yeah, that's when I was actually learning that weaves had names myself. Like I said, I learned weaves and kind of named them myself just in my head type thing. And I had to relearn a lot of stuff when it kind of came to it, when I actually started getting really into the nuts and bolts of it. And I'm glad I did. I mean, I enjoy this. It is a tedious kind of pain in the butt sometimes, but I have fun, especially when it comes to creating and trying new and different things. It sucks there, you go for a week and nothing ever's working right, but you know, you go there and then all of a sudden one week you have a good week and something happens. Kind of how the wormhole was, you know. Had a few things that weren't working, and that when I started the wormhole cube, it wasn't supposed to be a wormhole. I said this when I was kind of working on it. I was actually trying to make some type of tornado. Actually, I didn't know if it was going to work, but my idea in my head was to try to do some type of tornado, and it really wasn't doing what I wanted. So then I was like, well, what if I connect tornado to the other end of it? And I was like, oh, that kind of looks like a wormhole type thing. And like I said, it kind of expanded from there, and it didn't look too bad as just a two-part thing. And maybe I should do another one and make that an option. I didn't really think about that before. I could put that in the tutorial and have an option where it's actually just a single wormhole, but it still stands up in cube form so that you can see it travel all the way through, and it doesn't have an open center. It would be all the way through as a tube, because that's how I originally had it, till I expanded it to the other sides. I needed to have a way to connect them all, and that's when I came up with the way I did. But so, I mean, some things can just kind of come out of the craziness of doing something else. You just never know. There are a few things actually through the years that I play around with, and I was like, hey, this is kind of cool. And I start looking around, and sometimes it can take a little bit of searching and sometimes asking. You ask the chainmail community, alright, here's a thing that I thought is new, but I'm not sure. Has anybody seen anything like this? And, you know, 90% of the time it's like, yeah, it's this. Or, yeah, it's a variation of that type thing. So, that happens quite often. A lot of times I'll find them on my own after some searching, and sometimes some deep searching. I actually had a tutorial written for another thing that I thought was not out there, and I kept looking it up. Every time I would kind of work on the tutorial and stuff, I was like, okay, I need to look again, and something I didn't have to do with the wormhole cube, because I was pretty sure nothing out there, but this one I finally found it after like halfway through my tutorial. I was like, it's already out there, it already has a tutorial. Yeah. But sometimes I'd hate asking about that out there, because they're like, oh, well, let's see it. Let's see what's going on, you know. Sometimes you give it away, and I will admit, I'm not real fast when it comes to having a new thing and putting it out there and getting like a tutorial made or something quick enough where somebody else might do it. It's happened twice to me now with something that it wasn't out there. I had kind of posted it, and somebody else kind of made a tutorial for it, and I'm not going to say who's and what's. I mean, things happen, you know, they might have had the same thing happen to them, I don't know, but, you know, so there are sometimes I just don't post a lot of stuff out there that might be new until I do a lot of searching. It takes me a while. If I'm going to write a tutorial, it takes even longer. Wormhole one took me 2 months. I know I could have done a lot quicker, but I was taking my time. I mean, it was only my third one. I mean, I guess fifth if you want to call it that, but only third one that I put out there. So, I'm still learning myself. Even though I've been doing it for years, I don't, you know, it's always, you gotta always be learning, I think, because then what's the fun? What's the fun? Quick looks around, I don't think I'm missing anything. It looks like I've had a few people drop in and out, but like I said, if you can't hang out, you don't want to chat, that's all good. I have fun just being here. We are about at our halfway point, so I do want to do a halfway thank you again. I just want to thank everybody for dropping in and checking us out. And like I said, watching us live or watching us later. I do appreciate either or. Don't forget to give the likes, thumbs up, shares on whatever platform you're using. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, they all have different features for likes and shares and followings and all that. But if you're on those platforms, find us and follow us there. One day I hope to have it kind of all tied to one where everybody could read other posts from the other platforms on whatever platform they want to watch on. I think I've figured out how to do it. It's just going to be you gotta pay to do it. And I want, I don't mind, doing a little bit of fun, but I want to make sure it's going to be worth it. If I start I have some regular people that do drop in, not consistently every day, but they do drop in. So, and that's perfectly fine. And if I had that from even more people, then it would be worth it. Every night, if there was like at least a group of 4 or 5 different people, and those people kind of switched up for a few different nights or something. That'd be worth it. This is I thought Bracken Mail. I need to actually go. I haven't seen a whole lot from him lately. I thought he was getting back into doing the streaming, and then they had the fires out there in California. So hopefully things are going well for him. I need to go check it out. I haven't seen anything lately. Like I said, if you don't follow somebody's stuff and interact with their posts as much, you see less of it on your wall unless you go back to their page again. But hopefully he'll be coming back streaming. I missed watching him stream. Always had a good time hanging out with him. And everybody else that joined over there, he had a pretty good following. Then you had Sean White over at Bracken Mail. Sean White over at Mailworks. He was streaming there for a while, and then he had computer problems, and then the whole COVID thing and everything he had to deal with his job there. So, but I hope he's doing well. I mean, I see on occasion, I'll see posts from him, so I know he's still kicking. Just no streaming lately, which, I guess in a way it's probably been good. I've been busy. It would have been harder to get to some of their streams. It's that time of the year. Everybody's starting to get a little more busy, You got all these holidays coming up, Halloween and Turkey Day and Christmas, New Year's. Then there in our household, we got a couple birthdays within that same period of time. Anniversary close near. So, hey, what are you doing, little auntie? You're dead now. You're out searching and you're not finding anything. You need to die and not bring in your friends. We had major ant problems when we first moved into this place and didn't notice it at first. Then we started seeing the ants. Then we started noticing that people before us obviously had an ant problem. And we started noticing all the hidden kind of ant traps and whatnot. And, we also come to find out what we didn't know when we bought, and nobody noticed, inspector and nobody, we had termites. It wasn't until we were probably in it about 6 months, we started noticing some things, and we were like, man, and we started looking, and it's like, oh, termites. So then we had to have a termite guys come out, and they put down this stuff, and I looked up the stuff they were using, and found out it works for ants too, so I actually bought some of my own. They treated and got that and we had to have our front wall replaced because termite damage that was in it. There was always the talk about, we were still within our time of buying the house and it was definitely stuff that had been going on for a couple of years. I mean, it was noticeably a couple of years worth of damage that was going on, and it was like, let's just take care of it, be done with it. So that's what we ended up doing, but hadn't had termites a problem, and then the ant problem kind of wasn't as bad after we had the termite treatment, but then I started applying with the termite treatment. They drilled holes and went down into the ground, and you can do that yourself, I guess, and they talk about how for treating termites you can build these little gullies around your house that you fill with water and this treatment stuff, and it soaks down in there and does the same thing as other than injecting. But they also talk how you can use it for ants. And so for a couple years, it took us a couple years to find all the areas where they were coming through, and then every year now I spray around and do little extras in the areas where I knew they were coming in, and haven't had an ant problem. Spider problem this year though, a little more than usual. I don't know if that's because since the ant problem has been calming down, I normally used to treat during the summer 3 times a year for spiders, ants with that stuff. But since the ant problem has kind of died down, I normally get my first treatment in, and if nothing happens, this year I only did the first treatment. I didn't come back through, and I probably should have. It was definitely noticeable by August. So next year I probably won't skip the mid-summer treatment and whatnot, but it is what it is this year. There's a lot of stuff going on at the beginning of this year too, so it's never not busy, is it? I'm trying to think of what it would be like to not be busy, but that would probably be boring too. And there are a lot of times I do a lot of stuff, and then there's always times where I have the computer open when I'm doing computer work and whatnot. But after about 4 or 5 hours, sometimes I like to play these stupid, mind-numbing games, like a bubble shooter type game. Something you don't have to think about. It's just line up colors and shoot, type thing, and they disappear. Stupid games. But when I'm busy doing other stuff, that is like, for me, I can go and do that for 5, maybe 10 minutes, and my brain just like reset from whatever I was doing. If I'm working with graphics or whatever it might have been that I've been doing for a while, that's kind of, I like my other video games for racing and football. But that's kind of a different thing that I look, and you have to think about and stuff. Other times I like that. Just let the brain go, let it kind of for a few, and then come back and start kicking again, Okay, got more, then we get another count. We're just over 30, 35, so doing pretty good. We should be able to finish this line up, hopefully, if I didn't screw anything up. I'm going to check my end ring here. Make sure I'm on the right row this time. If it matches up, then we're good to go, and hopefully I won't have to come back and fix anything. Like I said, I put about 40 rings out, 35 to 40. And so if I have a screw up, the most I'll change it anytime, if I catch it right then, would be 35, 40. Sometimes it's a few less if the screw up wasn't so far back, but alright. Like I said, I just have to keep double checking myself on this project for some reason. It's been kind of crazy. Alright, we're coming down on that side. Ended in a pinky. With that in a bronze. It comes up through black. Okay, we're good. For now. We'll see how it goes. And like I said before, guys, if you have any ideas, thoughts you might want to see us do, where it's not always just chainmail, we could do other things. If you had thoughts, ideas, just let me know. I mean, I've been kind of thinking about it, and like I have mentioned a few times, I'm thinking about doing some minor changing up here coming this next year. So if anybody has a thought, idea, I'd be more than willing to listen to it and maybe incorporate it, try to have some fun and do something different. I mean, I'm having fun doing it this way. I know this could be boring to a lot of other people. You're just sitting there bending rings over and over and over again. That's chainmail. It might not be as fun as, watching somebody streaming a live video game where there's battling and whatnot going on. But to me, this is fun. Some people can watch golf. I can't. I like to play golf, but I do not like to watch golf. Watching it is so boring. But you get me out there and give me clubs, and I like to go out and golf. Now, it has been some years since I last been golfing. It's probably been 15, 20 years now. It has been a while, but I'd probably go out there and throw my back out on the first swing till I forget that I'm old. Going, oh, I know how to do this. I remember. Whack! Oh, ambulance, where are you? I'm sure that's probably what would end up happening, though. That would be my luck. So yeah, I'm gonna have to be finishing up these ties, get those done. I'm hoping to finally get my 2 orders done that I need to get done through the different suppliers, and possibly a third. I need to get another group of stuff counted and itemized and make sure that I need what I need before I do the order. And so that has been keeping me a little busy too, because I went through everything I have. Now I didn't count like every ring, but I got estimates, know where I'm at, what I need, all that. So at least for my TRL order. Well, I guess not all the way. Right now I'm debating on my scales, who I'm getting what from, because I'm getting some more scales from Steampunk Garage, and I still got to get some from TRL. So I'm trying to decide on what I'm getting from where, because there are certain things that, you know, TRL's the only one that has currently still, so certain things I have to go there. But I do want to get enough of Steampunk Garage stuff so I can kind of do the same thing and show the difference between regular scale and premium scale. What they look like differently and price-wise what they are differently. Because there's definitely a price difference. And that's the other thing I want to do is laser up some of her scales. Because they're so pretty. I'm hoping that lasering is going to just make them even pop more. It's got to find that right setting though to get a nice bright white frosty finish to it. Because sometimes if you're not quite right, you'll get kind of a pale white. Other times you'll get more of a brownish color. It's a matter of finding that right. At least with aluminum. And it is different when you're working with other materials. When working with a painted iron and stuff, that is totally different. So that's what kind of sucks, because I figure out of all her scales, I'm going to have to take one scale, and it's going to have to be my what would it be called, a death scale, or what do they call that when you're a sacrificial scale that I can run through and get all the settings for, so I can find what setting works best. I have a lot of test pieces that I do that with new stuff. I'll run them through a test block, and it'll run them at different powers and different speeds, and it gives you a good starting point, and then from there you can kind of play and dial in the rest of it. Some people make laser work sound pretty easy, and in a way it is, but there is some work to it. There is some knowledge behind it, and there's a lot of testing that, you know, you just want this, but yeah, behind that was hours upon months of testing to see what's going to work with that particular thing, and even that can change over time. There are sometimes, you know, materials might look exactly the same, but over time they have changed a little bit, so then you have to kind of tweak your settings a little bit, so it does kind of move around on you. Alright, counting done. I need the robot. I was talking with a buddy of mine. He's a good friend of mine. We just don't get to hang out as much since the pandemic and everything. He's had health issues and stuff, but he called and we ended up chatting for about an hour the other day. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. No. Tuesday? I can't even remember what day it was now. Anyway, he called and we were chatting. We were just talking about, you know, his different things, because he had a kidney and liver issue and had transplants on those. My son had kidney transplant, so we're always kind of chatting back and forth about the different things between the two, and the wife, and all the medications that everybody has to take, you know, because son's got them on all kinds. I don't even remember the names of them. So wife's on all kinds. He was talking about all his on. It's like, yeah, you know, the wife is probably the one that needs a little robot reminder or something to say, hey, take this, because she's always asking me, do you know if I took this or not? And I'm like, I don't know. And I was like, you know, it's probably a good thing, though, in a way, because if I had to do the pill regimen that any of them had to do, I'm like, I'd have to have a physical robot that chases me down and shoves pills down my throat and says, "Here, take him, damn it." I just need a whole bunch of robots to help me out. All from that because I want a robot ring holder that can send me the rings on a little conveyor belt in the proper order, so I don't have to stop and count. I mean, it does give my hands a little quick break when you do that, but it still sucks. When you get into a good groove, there are sometimes, I don't know if you're any other mailers, but some days, boy, I get into a groove where things are just working really well. Closures are going together smoothly, quickly, and then there's other days where, I'll get my closure where I want it finally, but it seemed like it took forever long to get there. And those days when things are going smoothly, I hate having to pause because it's like, man, I don't want to have to stop and do this or do that because it's just, things are going great. It's like a good hand day. How they have good hair days, it's like a good hand day when rings are closing well for you. And maybe that's just because I'm older, and if you're younger, it doesn't make as much difference, or you don't notice it as much. But as you get older, yeah, you start having good hand days, good knee days. Here lately, it's like I'd like a good hip day, and my hip has started feeling better. But man, it was sore there for a week, and I'm kind of sore around it now. But that's probably just because of all the other muscles that were taking over for me, walking weird or whatever because of the pain from the hip. Though, I always thought a hip pain was like on the outside of your hip. This pain's like more on the corner of the buttocks area. It was weird. First time I ever had that pain. I've noticed that here the last couple of years. I'm having a lot more pains in places that I've never had pains before. Kind of reminds me of that transition from the 20s and 30s when, okay, yeah, I can go out and run a 40-yard dash in the 20s. You go out and run the 40-yard dash in your 30s, and the next day you're like, okay, yeah, let's try not to do that again. It was kind of like that, type difference. And now it's just, the random things like a freaking sneeze and pull my back. Where was that? We at 47 minutes, so what do I got going on over here? Hey, finally got you live. Hey, Janice. Hopefully I didn't see you too late and you're still here. Got Janice over here on the tube, the YouTubies. I think I might have missed her though. Sorry about that. I'm not used to looking over there as often. Like I said, I get them over there on occasion, but once I notice, I'll look more often for sure, but good to have you in here, Janice. Yeah, every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. I don't think I said that anytime tonight. I need to have a whole little spiel that I probably record and I just push play and it does it for me, so I don't have to say it over and over again. That's why I said I need to almost have a producer person, somebody that's running the computer and can flip the cameras whenever I want to look at something different instead of me having to go grab the mouse and figure out where things are. Just need somebody over there that can run that kind of thing for me. And if I find I need to find me like Jennifer at Steampunk Garage. She has an apprentice, and it's like that would be kind of weird. But I almost would be kind of cool to have one, because then you would have that helper that could do some of this stuff that, But then it's like, you're an apprentice. Are you free? It's like, it'd be nice to have an apprentice that could come help build things. And I think that would be kind of fun. It's, why I kind of wanted my daughter to kind of get into it so we could build things together. And I don't know anybody else into chainmail that are like close friends that I go hang out at their house or whatnot. I've never, it'd be kind of neat to have somebody else into chainmail that, you hang out, you could do things together chainmail wise for events and whatnot. which would be cool. I am still waiting on, I went and looked up my registration trademark again today. Still waiting for it to go through. It's 3-4 month process. It always takes forever after I had the problem with it to begin with. But I'm halfway tempted to email him again because there's one thing I'm a little concerned about that I don't normally see on all the forms and whatnot you get when you fill all that out, and the proceedings that you can go look at through your registration trademark with government. There's one thing that's off compared to how it was before, and when I look at a few others, just to kind of get the basic idea of how this kind of runs through, that is different from them. But I did have that issue when I tried to renew my thing, and it wasn't working right. Well, I guess it got stuck in the background somehow. They got their money, but nothing was processing forward until I contacted them about a month and a half later after that, going, hey, you guys got the money, but still nothing is processed. They dug into it, and they said, yeah, we have everything here, but for some reason it didn't go from your uploading area into the main system. It got stuck in there and never got caught. But I guess at the same time they said there was several that were caught in there, so it was a good thing somebody found out. It's like, can you give me a refund or process my stuff faster? Yeah, right. So hopefully that'll be going through, because I have till the current one, I think, is up in March. My current registration is up in March of next year, I think. I think it's March. So gotta fill out all that and get all that done. So it's different. It's definitely a different animal update and renewing than applying for the first one. And I said a little while back, it was almost probably, but it would have been worth it to pay somebody to do it. But some of the companies out there, they want, time I spent. I get why they charge so much, but to do it myself, I think I total spent about $450 with trademark and all the other little things I had to do that, and getting a company to do it for me, which I would have just had to say, here's my money, do it, and I wouldn't have to do anything, like I had to. But most of them were wanting $1,500, $2,000. Some of them were even higher, depending on all the extras, if you want the extras. But no, it's like I kind of figured it out myself. It's nothing major. I'm just the guy with flyers here. And I only had to go that route because if you're around 7-8 years ago, I guess 8-9 years ago now, we were having an issue with somebody, I am not going to advertise who they are like you would probably even care, because through all this time I do go check on what's going on. Their business has changed. Same name, advertising, looking for investors to be this, and then they changed, now they're going to be that. They wanted to be a social media, then they wanted to be eBay, then they wanted to be Amazon, then they wanted to be Fubu. I don't even remember which one they're on to now, so, it's constantly. Anyway, he was trying to sue, blah, blah, blah. I had to go through all kinds of silly crap for being a freaking chainmailer, I will say that. Oh, get off their screen. Something popped up. Oh, my firewall updater. I did just restart the computer, so. But, yeah, had to deal with that, so. In a way, I kind of want to thank him in a way. It did give me more knowledge I had to learn about. Got my own registration, did that, so I have a trademark name for chainmail stuff, which isn't going to, you probably won't find that too often. Who really needs a registered a trademark for doing chainmail? But, it is what it is, and now I'll just kind of keep it going, and at least while I can still chainmail, like I said, one day I know it's going to have to stop, and I'm not necessarily looking forward to that day, and it'll probably either be because I'm dead, or I don't know what else would necessarily keep me from it. I guess if I lost an arm or something, I couldn't. But if I can physically do it, I will be doing chainmail till I die. I guess I could say I'd die happy if I get found dead with pliers in my hand. I mean, that sounds a little morbid in a way, but I forgot to check if I ended right. Where did we end here? I'm going the wrong way. Okay. Bronze and up through. Okay, yeah. It was right. So I better check it before I get too far. I'll regret it. I about skipped one of the doubles here. Those. And I will say again, not doing the band stuff this year has definitely been different. And I can't believe that the season's practically over, but I'm like, I have been so busy this year. I thought I would be a lot less busy by giving up doing the band stuff. But I found that I am like twice as busy. Equally enjoyable, I would say. I mean, I'm enjoying doing the band stuff. And running my own company and doing that is fun too. It's time consuming, but yeah, I just never imagined I'd be as busy as I was. I was like, how did I put band stuff in when I was doing what I'm doing now? But I was like, well, I guess I am doing more right now than I was, so it's all good. We got a few more minutes. We're going to finish up this line, though. We can probably finish that up in 4 minutes or so? 4 or 5 minutes to our hour. We don't have to end right at our hour, but the cats have become accustomed to the schedule. And Marvel, she knows my stream ends. I think she can probably hear me. She's in the room above me. So she probably hears me talking. And it drives her nuts because when I'm talking, she thinks I'm talking to her. And so yeah, right after my stream, that's normally the first thing I do is go get her out, get her medicine, her soft food done. Then after that, I kind of start closing down stuff, and I've talked about that before. And go up and do kitchen work, get Buzz food, get his shot going. And I will say that's probably why I'd have a harder time right now watching Sean White stream if he was streaming, because he normally streams at 9. And right now I'm kind of busy at that point in time. I probably wouldn't be able to catch him until about 9:30 most nights. And then I might have to leave early depending. So I can get some things, we need some things done around this house. I'm always trying to get things going and done, but there are a few things I'd like to get changed around this house. And if I get everybody on board, it'd make it so much easier. But, it is what it is. So yeah, I get worn out doing all the housework, all the lawn work. Like I said, the two that are here do help out with what they can. The son can only do certain things with his thing. He needs to do actually more, but wife, has her health issues, so she can't really do much. Daughter's working full time and going to school, so she's busy. So it's just me getting her done as much as the best I can is all I can say. I'd like it to be better, but wouldn't everybody? I mean, even if you look at other people and thinking, man, they got it together, and they probably wish they had things better. Who knows? I don't know. I do wish sometimes it was easier, but you just got to do what you got to do. So, we'll finish this up here, and I'm not going to have to put it up, but it will have to pushed out of the way. I've got a couple more things I need to get boxed up tonight for shipping out tomorrow. And then, hopefully this weekend I won't have to actually put it up completely out of the way. If it's at least out here, it'll give me a little more motivation to get into it and get some work done on it. Like I said, tomorrow is lawn work, laser day, for sure. And orders, obviously. We'll see what happens. I guess some of that could change in the morning when I wake up. That has happened the last several mornings. I wake up going, okay, this is what I'm going to plan on doing. It takes me about 10-15 minutes after I wake up. I get my water filled up, get some water in me, and then I finally get it online and start checking emails if I need to reply to anything for the business side of stuff. I don't care about my personal stuff right off the bat. But here lately, there's been several emails I need to reply because we've got people I'm chatting with or orders that need to be filled. So we'll see what happens in the morning. If I wake up and there's more orders again, they might have to postpone. I don't know which one, but maybe we just cut a little bit of time out of both. I don't know. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. But I do thank you all again. Like I said, it does keep me busy, but I'd much rather be busy. I'd rather have to put off some other things and keep busy with the business than putting off things with the business to get other things normal. Come on. Did I not open you up far enough? There you go. So, we're going to go ahead and end there. This is line 49, so we'll be starting up line 50. Hopefully I'll get further along on there. I can't wait till we get to his mouth. I'm looking up at my screen here. It normally helps me get a better pull on it. Once we get his mouth, because when we did Mahomes, I got him some funny mouth claimants. By stretching of it, he looked like a joker at one point. It was funny. You have to go back and find that video. I don't know. I think my daughter might have got a screenshot of it. I don't know. It's funny because I was stretching it and he had this funny little mouth shaped like a joker, and I just cracked up. But anyway, let me get over to the ugly old face cam so I can scare you all to sleep. But I do want to thank everybody again, like I said, for joining us live. If you're watching us later, I do appreciate it. Don't forget to check us out Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. That was the quick rundown. But it is Thursday, so we won't be back till Monday. So I hope you all have a great weekend. I don't think I have too much planned outside of working in the basement here over the weekend. So other than that, Chiefs game on Sunday. So we'll be back on Monday night and probably be working on some more ties on Monday. So otherwise, I hope you all have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday. Peace.